Welcome back, everybody, to the Dota 2 Champions League. We had a remix, so we're going to jump straight into the all-pick phase. We can talk about the draft a little bit for you guys who are just now watching on YouTube. We got Earthshaker, SF, Vengeful Spirit, Slark, and Clockwork picked up by Ninjas in Pajamas. I would feel that this is probably the most standard of standard lineups you're going to come across, while Faceless Void, Troll, Dazzle, Sand King, and Lena picked up by Power Rangers. Payar going for something that's a bit more interesting, I would say, with the off-lane Faceless Void. Should fare pretty well up against the Slark, as he is one of the few offlaners that actually has a sort of pseudo blink to get himself out of that pounce. So that is actually really nice to have. So he's just worried about the chain stun of Earthshaker and Vengeful Spirit. Not that big of a deal. The Lena mid versus the SF should be a winning combo, and then they've got the Sand King, who's going to be free farming the jungle to try and get that 9 to 10 minute blink dagger. So all around, it should be a pretty interesting match, but I would say a pretty passive laning phase. To begin with, the most amount of aggression you're probably going to see is coming out from Earthshaker and Vengeful Spirit roaming into the middle lane to shut down the Lena, who should be able to beat out the SF in the middle lane if it's left to just a 1v1 solo. Both of these teams are currently sitting at 2 and 4. In the current Dota 2 Champions League group stage. So both of these teams want to be able to come away with a 2-0 win, as NiP got 2-0'd by Burn United, while Power Rangers got 2-0'd by Hellraisers. So both of these teams kind of feeling the hurt in the first couple of matches of the D2CL. Starting off, Jonas is going to be trying to get an early ward out, and I'm not sure if he's actually looking to spawn. Oh, okay. He throws one here. This is kind of interesting. Most counter wards you're going to expect in this area if you see the Clockwork do something like that. So that should be countered fairly easily. So no ward for our poor Clockwork, who's probably going to be zoned out pretty heavily by FNG, who is going to be a stand-in for Power Rangers. As I was saying earlier, PR have actually been playing with him quite a bit, while they also now have Roger as a stand-in. He's going to be playing. Oh, Jonas. He's got out the cogs. Meanwhile, the rest of the team coming in for the side. It's a trap. They take down. What are they going to be? They're going to go for Roger. Nice double stun by J4. Is that actually going to save Roger? Nice body blocking Seal Kid. That's a beauty, but he's already missed a couple times uphill, and they won't actually get the kill. Oh, no. It was a beautiful setup by NiP, but they grouped up too much. And oh god, FNG. Now he's stuck inside the cogs. Now you'll get your first blood. Finally, NiP do secure it. Jonas gets a bit low, but not low enough. He might as well feed himself to Roshan, I assume. As, uh-oh. Yep, Roshan feed. So, buy some items. And we'll be back in a short amount of time since he bought himself a TP scroll. Also has a new fresh health potion on the way. A good start for the side of NiP. Meanwhile, that does leave our Faceless Void a bit of time to get some, perhaps some CS in this offlane while the supports are missing. Of course, Era really pushing that advantage, goes for the level 1 Essence Shift, and says, you know what, you may come forward and take a last hit or two, but I'm going to punish you pretty heavily if you try and do that. Roger already brought a bit low, I think, from that earlier engagement. Is completely out of regen, and now Limp is actually taking advantage of that scenario, especially since he was the one able to get that first blood. He gets the really fast bottle, and now this is, with that kind of first blood upset, this could be a winning lineup for SF now. This mid matchup, Lenas are usually pretty favored up against the SF. There's obviously execution that comes into play, and there is, I would say, more like a 70-30. 70-30 kind of exchange between the Lena and SF mid. But obviously the early first blood and the lack of regen for Roger is really going to be hurting him, as he does now have a health potion. You can see the Earthshaker is sitting on the side. We expected this. Hanskin is just going to be sitting on this middle lane waiting for his opportunity to put pressure on the lead and make sure that SF wins this lane, because they can't really kill Cheshire Cat. The double stuns of Vengeful Spirit and Earthshaker weren't going to be enough damage nor enough stun duration for them to kill the Faceless Void offlane. So Void is actually going to have a great time in this offlane as he now pushes his advantage as much as possible. Already picking up 5 CS and 2 denies, actually. A haste rune for top lane. Limp, probably going to be left that one. So further opportunities for them to get aggressive. Of course, the Clockwork was feeling a bit of harassment from FNG, but there's not really that much active kill potential with a Dazzle. His slow is pretty weak. The damage is not amazing. So it's mainly just zoning that FNG is going to be trying to do, but when it comes down to it, Clockwork shouldn't actually die, especially with his great early start. Look at him. He's actually going to go for maybe. That was a very bold move by him. He's willing to trade 2 hits for 1 in these sort of scenarios because he's got so much extra regen. But he's right now just fighting for control of the lane, trying to get some experience. 15-9 on Limp. A great job so far up against the 10-3 Roger Lina in the middle lane. Of course, this could all change once both offlaners get their level 6. Both of them are going to be looking for that early kill. Uh-oh. Was that a block? Nope, not quite a block, but it is a stun. Now they're going to turn around trying to hit Limp, but he activates the haste rune and flies away. And Jonas, when worst comes to worst, this is what you got to do on a Clockwork. You block out the creeps. The creep wave will push forward into your tower, and then you've got a double wave that pushes out. And you can sometimes even feel confident enough with that double wave to push forward with it, just knowing that you have so many creeps with you that it's dangerous for the support and the carry to go on you. But it will ensure he gets something. SF actually managed to get the Invis rune in the top lane. Roger finds the bounty. Era. Oh, you got to be careful, my friend. If he got a lucky bash there, Cheshire Cat would have actually killed Era. That was some very ballsy play there from Era. Cheshire Cat, I love this Orb of Venom pickup that he has. This really puts a lot of pressure on the Vengeful Spirit and also ensures that, like, Era doesn't go as easily blow for blow with him. So when you're already doing so well, Cheshire Cat gets stunned up, kind of blocked away from taking some of these last hits. Another stun on him, and he will now be forced to probably blow his potion after grabbing that last creep. But now the Earshaker's up to top lane. Whoa, Roger got super low. Look at that. He can get a heal from FNG. FNG is actually still holding on to his second skill point. Is he doesn't know whether he's going to need Shallow Grave or the heal. He passes off his potion, though, to the Lina. Cheshire Cat not going to go for the attempted last hit on the Wild Wing Ripper. Yeah, Seal Kid's low. He doesn't want to make the jump, though. Instead, he'll just take off this Clarity of Hanskins. Oh, first hit bash. That's a great start. He can definitely get a lot of damage on this Earthshaker. Of course, with Seal Kid there, I doubt he's really going to be able to get any sort of kills. Over to the middle lane. Smoke up from J4. They're going to loop around and kill Limp. This is a great opportunity for them. Lina was already behind. They can get him back in this game, though, with this one kill. Slowing him down, right-clicked away, and Roger now bumps himself up to level 6. Having that Laguna Blade available.
Twice the torque.
Double damage for the Clockwork, but he is a full level behind Cheshire Cat's Faceless Void.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And I almost wonder if Cheshire Cat would consider a poor man's shield in this scenario, just to really increase his laning presence even more. Or if he's trying to go for those like early upgraded boots. Laning ward being placed. Don't think Cheshire Cat noticed that. So should be fine. Jonas intercepting the attempted stack farm from J4. But I don't know, Jonas. You're really not going to be able to do much about this. Unfortunately, Clockwork, especially with, what has he got? Yeah, only level 1 Rocket Flare. Very unlikely for you to be able to take any of these creeps. There's the Chronosphere is up for the Faceless Void, so there's the opportunity that he maybe goes for the kill on the support instead of rotating around. 7 minutes into this game, the Troll is currently the highest CS on the board, 48 and 20, but being trailed slightly by the 42 and 12. Jonas is really, like, he is on top of this one. He really wants to be able to take this CS. He doesn't get that last one. Trying to go for the Centaur, does actually get that. So he actually steals the important thing, probably about half the experience there. But grabs a couple of those creeps, not too bad. Well worth his time anyway. The Troll is so hard to lane up against solo anyway once he's got phase boots up. Hanskin, I guess it's just, I'm not sure if they're actually going to try and rotate behind the tower. Again, I don't see how they're going to be able to kill Cheshire Cat. So I think he's just trying to make sure that SF gets the rune. Oh, nice little medium stack here as well. No golems. That's exactly what you want to see for the Sand King. He's now farming up another hard camp. So he will actually have about a 10-minute blink dagger. Not too bad. Especially since he did gank middle and was intercepted by the clockwork a bit. It's really good timing for his blink dagger. Now FNG. Not sure how much extra kill power he's really going to give Cheshire Cat, but with him sitting behind Cheshire Cat, it certainly allows the Faceless Void to be a lot more aggressive against these supports, knowing he's got that Shallow Grave and that heal behind him. He goes for the early ring of a kill. I kind of like that. Dive. Yeah, he is going to go for Seal Kid here. Just forcing out the missile. Don't think he actually goes for a Chronosphere, especially with Hanskin sitting on the side. In fact, they're going to need to back up. Limp is coming in with the Invis Rune. Raise 1, raise 2, backtrack. Chronosphere laid down. Seal Kid is going to be his target. He's got 2 seconds until his ultimate's up. And the time walk. Oh, couldn't quite get it off in time. Not enough backtracks for him. Meanwhile, we did have... earlier. Well, Jonas doesn't actually have his level 6. They will still catch up to Roger. No, the Cogs pushes him out. So close to being able to catch him there. Era did go on the Dazzle, and that's why you didn't see Dazzle's help there with the Faceless Void. But fortunately, Roger was there to kind of force back that Slark. He did have to use his ultimate for that fight. As we start getting up to the 10-minute mark, we can now see that the SF is pretty close to the Troll when it comes to net worth. Era trailing them a bit, but that's solely because, well, first of all, the SF got first blood, right? That's a lot of net worth right there, just out of that one kill. And then he just gets the Faceless Void kill as well. And it's an SF. Like, you really can't, no matter how well you do against him in lane, he will still farm very well. Oh, a stack being taken. Good rotation from NiP. This is right on time for them. That was a very smart rotation. Sand King, thanks to this ward right here, was able to see that rotation coming and puts a stop to it, but doesn't get caught out by it, rather. But still, blimp. Now, level 9 has his ultimate. And will soon have his Yule Scepter as well. So this is going to give him a lot of solo kill potential, especially since Lina does not appear to be close to that Yule Scepter at all, as she opts for a bottle. Middle lane, thinking about going for Cheshire Cat here, but again, trying the question of whether or not they can actually chain stun him well enough. Era, they're going to try and jump on him, get the stun, and they will just barely be able to blow him up. The last nuke from the Lina seals the deal, and that's an excellent pickoff right there. Sand King even gets the last hit with Sandstorm, so he now has Blink Dagger and is halfway to his Arcane Boot, should he choose to go for that route. Two-man smoke, and what I could only assume is going to be TPs, as well as those 2 supports are not going to be enough by themselves. The SF has a TP. They run into J4, unfortunately. So not the greatest position. Here comes the double TPs out from NiP. They're going to be able to grab Roger. Great start. And that will be a free pickoff. FNG, you could try and shallow grave him, but it's not going to change much. So they get the tower at the very least. The tower was actually killed by this siege creep. Meanwhile, Ditchy Ra is just going to town. Earlier when they took away his Sand King stacks, He was managed to take that tier 1 bottom tower, and is now putting pressure on the middle tier 1 as well. As NiP, they may be getting the better rotational kills, I would say. The Power Rangers definitely take advantage of it with this troll, who, again, wants to be able to farm up for the first 20 to 25 minutes. He's usually not looking to fight early on, at least not when it comes to real big team fights. He'll definitely go mano-a-mano with any offlaner that chooses to try and fight him, but when it comes to full-out team fights, he's not really your guy. Not yet, anyway. Once he has that, again, SNY, probably BKB finished up, that's when you start thinking about fighting as a troll. Helma Dominator, he's going to be start stacking up that Ancients for himself, as well as probably the Faces Void. They could probably do it together.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Overall, though, let's take a look at those graphs. Power Rangers are ahead by a little over 2K and 1,000 experience. J4 setting up. This could be another great fight if they choose to try and stop. J4, uh-oh. J4 going to be caught here. Seal Kid runs into him. Blink away to the side, but it's right on top of Jonas. Oh, dear. He gets hit by the Fisher and blown up. Good response there from NiP, knowing that J4 would be sitting there. Of course, they had the advantage of this ward to be able to see that kind of rotation. Wow. Most likely. They saw the Sand King somewhere there, and there's only so many places you can hide in this middle area. Era's roaming around a bit. I'm not sure if he just abandoned top lane because there are too many heroes there or what. But it's not really his time to go gank yet, especially with his Hand of Midas. I was about to say, use your Hand of Midas, friend. It's a very useful item. But he's not going to be looking to fight until he finishes up like Shadow Blade or Blink Dagger. One or the other. I kind of feel like he's going Shadow Blade with this very stat-heavy build he has with Ring of Aquila and a Midas Treads as well as an Orb of Venom. He's got a lot of small stat items. Uh-oh. Seal Kid going to be caught out here as the Troll Chronosphere Faceless Void duo manages to take out that support despite Faceless Void not having any real attack speed yet. Ooh, this is a good opportunity. Era's already used his Q. J4 could have gone for the inner. I really think he should have gone for the epicenter there. After the Dark Pact was blown, they're now going to jump onto Jonas. That should be a kill as Roger will ensure he dies. Era's now going to jump onto the troll. Whoa, this is bold as hell. Nice Fisher being laid down. Hanskin doesn't have enough mana, though, for an Echo Slam, and Era will just have the opportunity to pounce out of this fight. Limp has actually been hit by the bash, stunned up. He's taken out. Hanskin's next on the menu as the rest of PR push themselves out. They still have Era to worry about coming in from behind, but they are still decently healthy, and FNG will make sure that continues. Maxed out Shallow Grave. Man, FNG putting a lot of stock in this saving ability instead of like levels into the more offensive Poison Touch or even some levels in the Shadow Wave. Oh, hook shot onto J4, plus they're going to get FNG. Well executed NiP strike once again. As FNG can't really do anything about this. Normally you would be looking to try and maybe grab a TP from the side shop and TP out, but with that battery assault pecking away at him, obviously it's just not possible. Yule's Scepter, no Blink Dagger for Limp. He's going to opt for a BKB instead. Understandable up against the Lina and Sand King. The Blink Dagger may not just be his style. At least not in this game anyway. Sand King can practically instant Burrow Strike out of your attempted Yule's Blink ulti. Lina has Yule's herself that she can use either on the SF or on herself. So, you know, those two heroes aren't the greatest. Faceless Void, you know, he time walks away. Maybe he backtracks some of your ultimate and survives because of that. Or maybe even Chronospheres and kills you because you do have that troll ultimate. The synergy between these two heroes. It's why you don't normally see... Whoa, middle lane. Missed out on that one. Jonas gets blown up real quickly. Laguna Blade from Roger will ensure that kill. Meanwhile, Dichira was farming up his Ancient Stack. They're going to use that opportunity, though, without the big initiator. They're going to go for Roshan.
is under attack.
Good opportunity for sure. Yasha picked up by Era, really going for a stat-heavy build, so no Blink Dagger or Shadow Blade. Very unlikely to go for it after you invest in the Yasha like this.
Radiant's bottom tower is
So
under
probably
attack.
more likely we're just going to see an SNY build out of Era, knowing that he kind of needs to have more team fight potential than pick off.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Era, grabbed by Lina, thrown down on the stun. Era was able to get off his Dark Pact, and now the ultimate goes out as well, but Cheshire Cat can leap to the side. Chronosphere to stop him. Oh, an instant bash. And Era will end up dying here on the side. Hanskin comes in to intercept. Era doesn't manage to pounce away, and Hanskin will give up his life as well in a futile attempt to save his ally. D2CL taking some damage. Lim coming in from the left side as well. Looks like our troll may die. Shellgrave helps save him. Swap in, and he will still end up dying. Whoa, what an epicenter. Being laid in, able to finish off one. Cheshire Cat barely manages to get out as they now focus on Jonas. Nice defensive Yule Scepter there from Roger, as Cheshire Cat thinks whether or not he can actually go in. Seal Kid is low enough, and he doesn't have a magic missile. He can get that one kill. Now Jonas turns to fight. FNG does have a Shellgrave, so they won't die either, unless FNG gets really unlucky. So another great fight there for Power Rangers as NiP lose 4. I'm not sure why they tried to fight that one. It was a bad start to begin with Era basically being picked off for in the very beginning of the fight. Had no impact, really.
Time is money.
And then Hanskin very bravely came forward with a Fisher to try and intercept, and it did almost save Era, to be fair. He pounced away as the last hit from the Faceless Void smacked him down. So it was close, but it was definitely a huge risk, and it obviously did not pay off whatsoever. Cheshire Cat, BKB next. He doesn't really need more damage with Mask of Madness and the Troll Ultimate. Nice pounce. J4 going to be found out here. He does have a Burrow Strike, but he's going to die before it's up. So good awareness there from Era, finding that pickoff. Next, Roshan is up in 19 minutes. Very early Roshan. They could finish up the SNY with D2CL and then go for it then. Try and do some sort of smoke gank. (13-9), 20 minutes into this game. PR growing more of their lead bit by bit. The best thing is there isn't a clear differentiation between who has the better late game in this match either. The offlane Faceless Void obviously does way more than the Clockwork. The Lina, not quite as hard of a carry as the SF, but I would say overall I would side with Power Rangers for late game. Faceless Void and Troll just too strong, and Lina's actually quite good in the late game thanks to Aghanims and a Scythe of Ice. So Power Rangers are up right now, and that may just become even more apparent as we go later into the game. NiP, though, I think have a very strong mid-game lineup. Unfortunately, they're not getting any of their mid-game items. For example, Earthshaker, nowhere close to a Blink Dagger. Ooh, ultimate from Limp! Thinking about it, stops it. Now lets it go on Cheshire Cat, unable to blow him up in one hit. Fisher goes out. The immediate response from Lina, and they don't actually get Cheshire Cat. Meanwhile, D2CL locked in by Jonas, who does have a Blade Mail. Echo Slam to finish him off. 2 for 1 so far, and now the Lina is going to be the third pickoff here for NiP. Era making a slight mistake there, but will still be able to clean up that kill. So it didn't work out great for the SF, but he lays out enough damage and gets a strong enough initiation that they do end up winning the fight, despite the fact that Cheshire Cat lived and he Limp did die. So at this point in time, I wonder what Era goes for next. If he goes for, like, he's got the poor man Scotty now, does he actually now upgrade to the full Scotty? I mean, you're still holding on to that Orb of Venom for a couple reasons, I would say. So do you just go, like, just raw, all-around stats on Slark? S and Y straight into the Scotty, Butterfly, and maybe Abyssal or BKB, whatever he chooses his items need to be. I don't think BKB is that necessary, but he may consider it versus the Lina. Of course, that BKB is only going to be so effective, especially since Lina is already building towards that Aghanim Scepter, so maybe not. Maybe you tank up, you go Scotty into Heart, just raw tank to survive through the nukes and the Chronosphere and everything else. Because that's the biggest danger for Era right now, is that he gets hit by a Chronosphere and blown up by the Laguna Blade, and he's never able to get off his ultimate. Slark is very susceptible to burst damage like that. Okay, I just got an announcement to make, guys. Our next match, after this 2-game series, we're supposed to be doing Burden United versus BBC, but that is not going to be happening anymore. I'm sure Durka will be happy. He's been here since very early in the morning covering the Chinese side of the Dota 2 Champions League. And now that means he can go home. So instead of doing the second D2CL match, we are going to be covering an MLG match, which I think is actually a pretty good one. I believe it's like Hellraisers versus Alliance. Yeah, Hellraisers versus Alliance. So that's going to be starting after this 2-game series. Of course, it is on MLG, much, I'm sure, to many of your guys' delight. Hanskin and Limp. Do they actually have the combo here? Echo Slam to lay it down. Cheshire Cat blown up by the double ultimates. They are not messing around with Cheshire Cat. They're like, nope. Nope. You survived the last time through that SF ultimate. This time, can you survive through double ultimates? I don't think so, friend. I don't think so. Tier 1 tower going to be taken out here by the Vengeful Spirit. Last hit for him. Would have loved to see them give it. Where's the Earthshaker? Oh, Earthshaker went bottom. Went bottom to farm. Oh, Era gets hit by a nicely placed stun there from Roger. And won't be able to get any sort of kill unless J4. Blink away, blink away. Whoop. Gets out just in time. He's okay. Force Staff soon for Jonas. We've got our first of the 2 ultimate orbs required for a Scotty. In fact, is he getting a point booster? Yeah, like this is how scared Era is of being bursted. He just gave his orb of venom to the courier in order to get another item. Now that would also like be very obvious if he had enough for his second ultimate orb. Of course you want that ultimate orb over the orb of venom. But he says, no. I can't wait till my second ultimate orb. I need a point booster right now. I need to be able to get that extra bit of HP, and the mana's not bad either. I mean, point booster is one of the most efficient items. They caught Seal Kid while they're trying to do Roshan here. Cheshire Cat. They probably need someone to stand over here to make sure there's no interception from the Clockwork. But apparently they aren't scared. They aren't scared at all. Said, no, we got it. Aegis picked up by Ditya Ra. Oh, he actually went for the BKB before SNY. Just now noticed that. So he opts to complete his magic immunity before the Saint Yasha. And in fact, if you delay the SNY, I wonder if you still go for it. Or maybe just keep this value Yasha and go for a bigger late game item. I would say most of the time you should go for that SNY. I think it's just too much of a value item for the Troll Warlord. And I also think it's early enough in the game. You can still get a lot of value out of the SNY. But it's something that may kind of rattle around in his head. That if he gets enough farm, does he just forgo the SNY for, like, maybe straight Scotty? You know? If you can afford it, why get the poor man Scotty if you can get the real thing? That's my motto. (15-13), 26.5 minutes in, dead even in net worth and experience, despite the fact that Power Rangers did just pick up Roshan for themselves. BKB finished up by the Shadow Fiend. Slark also sitting at a good 13k. Era is gonna have to be carrying this game pretty hard. I don't feel like the SF is far enough ahead as he should be. Like, SF is one of those heroes that naturally should be ahead in net worth at all times. So I don't feel he's actually ahead enough to really dominate the game, in which case it all falls on this Slark to take us to victory here in that 35 to 50 minutes in. BKB finished up by the Faceless Void. Definitely a big pickup there. His biggest problem during Chronospheres would be the Earthshaker Fisher intercepting his, bash time. So when he throws down a Chronosphere, Earthshaker is naturally going to try and respond with Fisher, but now that he's got that BKB,
top tower is under attack.
He should be fine. Whoa, what's this rotation here from Era? J4, does he actually know? I mean, this would be pretty smart. Okay, never mind. He's just pushing out the top lane. Are they actually waiting to fight here? Do they know? And Hanskin and Era is so close to J4. This Scotty just now being finished up. I don't think they wanted to fight without that item. They also have 4 staffs soon on the clockwork, so maybe it's just better to let that tier 2 tower go. But are they going to defend the tier 2 tower at top lane? Because Power Rangers are not slowing down whatsoever. They're going to continue this line of thought and go for tier 2 after tier 2. J4 is actually in a really great position. How many times do you see a Sand King manage to sneak himself over here? And sure enough, there's no response from NiP. The best thing they could do at this point is split push. They're going to try and maybe push down bottom and middle lane at the same time, but will be met with some resistance from Power Rangers. Seal Kid, oh dear, my friend, you did not want to take the time to deal with that creep. Yo, oh, Hanskin is actually going to be found. Never mind, Jonas actually grabs Roger. They will be able to finish off Hanskin, but can Jonas actually get Roger? No, 4 staff out is going to be able to get him out of the cogs. Cheshire Cat, 2-man chrono, beautiful. Era will manage to get himself out of that thanks to the swap of Seal Kid, but they'll jump onto Limp, take him out, and only 2 heroes survive on NiP, and they get nothing, not even close to a kill out of Power Rangers.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So 18 to 13, 29.5 minutes in. BKB about to be finished up by Belina, who already has her level 3 Aghanim's ultimate. Oh, that's so rough.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And at this point, Power Rangers. Oh, Cheshire Cat, is he actually going back for a Maelstrom? That's kind of interesting. I mean, I highly doubt it's a Desolator, but I suppose you never know. Whoa, Echo Slam, Hanskin hits 3, that's a big one, as he locks down them all with the Fisher and Enchant Totem follow-up. The combo here from J4 coming out is going to be able to wipe out 2 members, and that's still the Aegis for Ditch-Ya-Ra. Seal Kid gets taken out, and NiP, they get a great fight on their hands. Excellent initiation from Hanskin, hitting that 3-man Echo Slam, but due to the Aegis and due to the counter initiation there from J4, Power Rangers still come out pretty even in that team fight. They lost their Aegis, but they did manage to get essentially 3 for 3. They lost their Aegis, but they also got the kill on the Slark and forced him to buy back. So I would say overall that's quite favorable for Power Rangers, who don't really need, like, defending. NiP playing defense right now is not a good sign, as again, I still feel that Power Rangers have the better late game. And at the very least, even if it's even late game, that kind of exchange is actually very favorable for Power Rangers who aren't in it. They don't have this necessity to try and push in at all. So it's not like them being rebuffed from the base is that bad. Like sometimes when you get early game versus late game lineups, being rebuffed from the base, even if it means like the enemy team used buybacks or you lost your Aegis or something like that, that can actually still be a terrible trade-off. Even if it's very economically costly for the enemy team, solely because the enemy team just bought themselves more time. And time is everything when you have the better late game lineup. But as it is, Power Rangers don't really need to push in again. They don't need to try and test their luck. They can sit back, farm up, wait for the next Roshan. And if they ever get a pick off on Era, then yeah, they'll probably push in pretty quickly. I said they didn't need to push in, but Power Rangers may do so anyway.
Tower is under attack.
Smoke up? Yeah, let's go for a pickoff first. I think that's a smart idea. 4-man behind D2CL, waiting for that counter initiation. On the left side, NiP. They are not feeling so confident. I bet they know. There's got to be a smoke behind D2CL. There's no way he pushes into the tier 3 tower by himself. Jump in, Limp. No, he's not able to get off the BKB. Blown up by the Aghanim Scepter in the Chronosphere. And now Cheshire Cat goes straight for Era. J4 comes in with his ultimate. Jonas is already down. Stuns up Era. Buyback from Limp. Comes in. He still has his ultimate. Going to be able to take out J4. Era goes on to Roger. Stun onto him. Yule Scepter as well on the right side. FNG. No hope to get out unless he TPs away, but not even that is possible, I think, as Roger juking and jiving up against Era, able to dodge that one, and Era now forced back to his base. It's only him and Limp, with D2CL able to take out the supporting cast of NiP. These two carries now going to have to fight 2 versus 4 in order to keep their racks alive. Unfortunately, with the BKB, that was so bad. Limp blinking in like that and popping his BKB, and the response being that he gets chronoed and agsed. Like, that is the direct counter to the BKB. So his second life, he comes in and he doesn't actually have an opportunity to get off a good ultimate. First of all, the team fight's way too chaotic and spread out. And second of all, he doesn't have his BKB to ensure he doesn't get interrupted. So that first death of his cost him so much more than appearances would allow. Maelstrom gonna be picked up by our Faceless Void, who already has another 1,000 gold on top of that. Bit surprised he goes for that item, but it's just so good on the Faceless Void. And I suppose, like, if this game does go for another 30 minutes, the farming power of Maelstrom will pay for itself. NiP, who have yet to get this middle tier 1 tower, gonna try and chain things to the initiation on FNG. Yule Scepter, oh god, was that a Yule Scepter on himself? I think it might have been. Limp now gonna be hit once again by the Chrono Ags combo, takes him out quite instantly. His Hanskin, he's got a Blink Dagger up in 8 seconds, should be able to get out farther down. Jonas is actually hiding himself in the trees. I think everyone gets out of this. Wait, what? Yule Scepter, Jonas got found. Oh dear, pops his Blade Mail, but TP out. Nope, J4 intercepts that one with a Burrow Strike, and he does end up falling. And at this rate, Power Rangers can push in since they saw that Roshan isn't up. Unfortunately for them, it's a very late Roshan. Another minute and 20 left. D2CL, is he going for an MKB? There is actually no ovation on the side of NiP yet. No butterflies. Earthshaker? Question mark? Sand King? Alright. Earthshaker managed to get a pick off on an Echo Slam there in the bottom lane, but now he doesn't have Echo Slam to deal with Power Rangers, who are pushing in their second lane of racks. Swap in, D2CL gonna be grabbed, but pops his BKB and instantly turns to fight Era, who pops his own ultimate, trying to get some of those stats. Unfortunately, now Cheshire Cat jumps on to Seal Kid. He's gonna be taken out nice and quick, and his Era is gonna be forced back to the fountain. Jump in from Jonas. They do have Limp coming in. Double nukes. Cheshire Cat managed to get a backtrack there, which will keep him alive quite easily. They got the melee racks, and they will just try and get out if possible. Limp gonna pop his ultimate for FNG. Doesn't even finish him off. He's got so few souls. And Cheshire Cat will get out thanks to that TP. No interception there from NiP. 29-18. Another great fight for Power Rangers, who only lost his support in exchange for getting actually both of those racks is there in the top lane. Seems like the Siege Creep took out the ranged racks. So game number 1 looking quite good for Power Rangers as NiP are clinging to life with 2 racks down and a very massive gold deficit compared to PR. About a 17,000 gold lead and a 13,000 experience lead as well. Mjolnir for Cheshire Cat coming in. Oh dear, NiP needs something major like this, but I'm thinking it's not going to work out for them. They don't have enough damage, and D2CL, he says like, wait up, hold up, that's my Roshan. J4 comes in on Era. They already have the Yule Scepter on the Shishir Cat. Jonas stuns him up a little bit. Force Staff up the clip, nice play. Era also needs to try and pounce himself out of here. Nicely played. Limp though, well, swap from Seal Kid. Stun onto D2CL. And they will only lose a support, it looks like. That's not too bad. NiP, a pretty clean extraction. Unfortunately, this means they're going to give up Roshan. Era now turns to fight whatever he can get his hands on, but nice dodge of the stun, and eventually, though, he's going to run out of abilities here. His ultimate comes to a close. Blade Mail, not quite enough for Jonas. He now turns double BKBs activated by D2CL and Roger. Limp pops his own BKB, turns to fight against J4. Era comes forward, managed to finish off Roger. Can they actually get D2CL the stun? No, they can't get him. Limp, Yule Scepter's up. D2CL can't actually get the kill. Meanwhile, we had Shishir Cat farming up Roshan. Finally got that Aghanim, or Aegis in hand. And the inevitable push now. Yep, GG, well played. Kind of felt like with Era doing that kind of YOLO, just I have to fight them now. I think he realized, you know, unless something amazing happens in this team fight, this game is over. So NiP dropped game number 1 in this 2-game series up against Power Rangers. Both teams sitting at a current 2-4 record. Well, now 2-5 on NiP and 3-4 on Power Rangers. NiP, again, they can't afford to be dropping 2 games up against Power Rangers so early on into this group stage, as they're already not in a very good position. So if they want to get themselves in that top 5, they need to win here. Power Rangers in game number 2. Stick around, guys. Short break, and we'll be back.